Hi and welcome. Today I'm diving right into my project. I wanted to share what you can do with your stamps instead of just stamping them and coloring them in. I have some issues with my stamp pad today because I recently re-inked it, and I think I either added too much of the re-inker or I didn't shake the re-inker, and that maybe was a mistake because I have the feeling that StayZone ink is quite wet, and it's always a bit hard to stamp on an acrylic surface, but this time it's I have a lot of stamped images that are messed up because they are either not very good or I'm just pressing too hard. It takes some time in this video until I figure out how to handle this, but that's not the point of the video. But in case you have some tips about that re-inking and why I have a problem this time, it would be quite interesting. I have re-inked that stamp pad a lot of times before, and it's not an old one. It's maybe a half a year old. And the only thing I did was a brand new re-inker. So that could be the only issue. Let's come back to the project. I searched for some simple jelly prints slash brayer papers where I cleaned the brayer on, and I also looked for the back sides that these don't have super pretty prints on them, so I don't waste any beautiful print. And I'm stamping one of the textured mushrooms. I will do more mushrooms today to these papers, and I picked papers that are a bit more heavyweight, so they are around 200 GSM, not super thin, because this is going to be the base of the images. And in my next step I picked some prints or textures and papers that are quite interesting and colorful, and I'm mainly stamping the head of the mushroom to the paper. And here I used some thinner paper because this is going to be glued on the others later, and then it just is easier when it's thinner, and it also does not show up as much as a thicker paper would do. So this is what I'm doing. I'm stamping the heads of the mushrooms to this paper. If you have different images, it's always interesting in how many pieces you can separate the images. For this mushroom, you can separate the head into two. You could also separate the stem, but I don't do this for the mushrooms at this time. And then you try to stamp it almost as often as you have stamped the base image, but that's also not that important, and sometimes there will be some leftovers. And I also try to stamp the head on interesting areas. So yeah, it is a bit boring, so I will not let you watch this all the way through. I will do the same thing with different images from that set, and then I will come back and show you what I do with them. And here I'm back. I have cut out all the pieces, the big mushrooms on the right side and the smaller pieces on the left. And this is something that you can perfectly do on a gloomy day, sitting in front of the TV, watching something nice, and then cutting out all your images. And what I did, I cut out the whole mushroom. I would say normal. I try not to leave too much of a border outside. And I also try not to cut anything away. And for the smaller pieces, I cut them directly on the black outline. So almost in the middle of the outline, so that that it will perfectly match the bigger images. And now we are getting to the part that is the most fun part, I think. I'm searching for one kind of mushroom, and I picked all the ones that I have full stamped, and then I'm searching for the heads. And I just place them onto the mushrooms and see if I like it. And when I like it, I lay it aside. And then when I have laid them all out, I will glue these heads on. What you could have done is stamp the heads more often and then cut out that little texture piece from another paper and glue that onto the head again. So the mushroom will look even more colorful and interesting. But it was quite a lot of work to cut this all out, and I think because of the papers and the textures, they are colorful enough for me, so I didn't cut out these tiny pieces from other images. And that's my favorite part here, searching for the best head for the mushroom and what I like the most. And this is what I'm doing, and then I will glue in the heads onto the mushroom. And because we have cut out that head directly on that black line, it will not be visible that it's cut out and adhered after you did it. To make it even more perfect, you could paint the edges of the paper with a black marker, but to be true, that's not worth the time and the effort it would take. I didn't find more heads. I know later I will find some more in that whole stack, and I'm using a glue stick to adhere these pieces. I'm using the Tombow glue stick. It's my favorite. Just a little tip, when you get a new one, it often has a skin to it on the very top that does not really glue, and you have to work this off, and then the glue stick will work just fine. Just rub it a bit on a piece of scrap paper. And what I like about it, you have some time to move everything around with that Tombow glue stick, and I had never a piece that fell off. I jumped to another part of the video. Here I have 3 pieces, and I have cut out all the heads, but I did not cut out the very top because I wanted to keep this when I lay them all out and see which one I will use on which layer. So here I like that yellow, and I would like to use that as the underside of the head of the mushroom, and then I will cut out a cap that will go on top. And here I picked the pink one, and I think that's quite a super cute mushroom. I've already used them on several art journal pages, and I will share them over the next 2 weeks, I think. I think I had posted one already on our shop blog that you can check out, and these are also really nice to use for greeting cards. And of course, you don't have to make it with mushroom stamps. You can do the same with our textured Christmas trees, which turns out amazing because I already did that. And that will also make really beautiful images to put on your paper crafting work or on your art journals. It's a gorgeous collage fodder, I would say. that was my video today. Just something DIY stamping. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe you will share which kind of stamps you have used to create your fodder. I wish you a lovely rest of the week, and I hope we see you soon. Bye.